Okay, looks like I am live. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And I'm just going to pop over to Facebook real quick, make sure that that part is working, make sure that I'm actually live, and then do a quick share. And then I will, there I am, I'm live, yay. So I'm just going to share it out real quick, and then I will be right back with you. Let's see. Okay, good. Okay. And so thank you so much for joining. And for all those that are just coming in live, please tell me who you are, where you're checking in from. I'd love to acknowledge you and say thank you also for clicking the share button, letting other people know about today's live stream. And then also I wanted to let you know that this is session number 6 on how to heal and transform depression and anxiety. And one of the most amazing things about this workshop is that when I teach this, is that I'm always learning. I've been read the previous book, How to Heal and Transform Your Back, and that was an amazing book. And then this one here, I'll show you what it looks like. Tao Calligraphy, How to Heal and Transform Depression and Anxiety. This book has just been astounding. I've really enjoyed it. And welcome, Mo. Great to see you here. And welcome, Phoebe Cat. Welcome, everybody else who's joined. Please click share, let other people know. I'm going to go back to Facebook here for just a minute and share on 2 other pages. Facebook has become quite, takes a lot of effort, let's say, to share what I need to share now that they've changed things around. So I apologize. The little extra time. The blessings are that, they allow us and allow many other people to see things that otherwise we might not normally be able to see. So truly blessed in so many ways that so many people can receive this wisdom from Dr. and Master Sha, and that I'm able to use some of the functions of the modern days of internet to really reach out and share this wisdom with people. Make sure you tell me who you are, where you're coming from. I see Mo is acknowledged. She says, I'm here. Who else is here? Tell me who you are, where you're coming in from. Today, we're going into chapter 5 of this new book of How to Heal and Transform Depression and Anxiety. And those of you on YouTube, please also let me know who's coming in live from YouTube. That this is streaming through a function that allows both Facebook and YouTube to be live. Isn't that awesome? And so, but last couple of weeks, Master Sha, through this book, has been talking about Shen Qi Jing and Tao science, and basically explaining how this form of healing works. And for those of you that are brand new for the first time, I encourage you to go to the Facebook page that you're currently on and click on videos, and you will see the previous videos that have been done on this subject matter, as well as on YouTube. I have all these on a playlist, so you can just watch them one after the other and basically listen to the entire book. And because I have been a center leader and studying this wisdom for over 13 years now, when I read it, I have a universal take on it that can make it applicable into our world. The way it's written is so pure, and very little needs to be added to it. But when I do add to it, I believe it assists you with a deeper comprehension of how you can apply it directly in your life. So thank you, everybody, for coming, and thank you, everybody, for sharing. So let's go ahead and pop in. Whoops, let me change this out and put in a different share so you guys can see the book that I'm reading. And what I've done is I actually get this from Kindle. And so I just open up my Kindle reader and you get to see the same thing that I'm reading. We'll make it a little bit bigger so you can enjoy it more. There you go. So what is the Tao? So this is something that I really enjoy sharing. And it's something that you want to read more than once or watch this more than once, because it's truly profound when we understand it. The concept of Tao, and let me just pause here a moment. The reason this is being shared with you is because this is called Tao Calligraphy, How to Heal and Transform Your Depression and Anxiety. The previous book, Tao Calligraphy, How to Heal Your Back. So this is done through Tao Calligraphy. So it's really important to understand what is Tao. And welcome to everybody who just popped in. Say hi, tell me who you are, where you're coming from. Please hit the share button. So let's go back now. So what is Tao? The concept of Tao was presented first by Lao Tzu, an ancient sage and author of the Tao Te Ching. In the Tao Te Ching, which by the way is a very ancient book, explains Tao as the ultimate creator and source. It describes Tao creation, Tao normal creation. Tao normal creation is explained in the first 4 sentences of chapter 42 of the Tao Te Ching. Tao Sheng Yi, which translates to Tao creates one. Lao Tzu explains that the Tao is the ultimate source. Tao creates one, which is the oneness world, called the Wu world. Wu is a Mandarin Chinese word that means emptiness, and the Wu world cannot be seen or heard or touched. It has no yin, it has no yang. It has no space or time, no image or shape. I do need to pause here a second. And what I want to say for anybody that is new, listening to this first time on podcast or YouTube, or just kind of wondering, why are we talking about this Lao Tzu person in relationship to Tao? I want to give a little backstory. Lao Tzu is one of the most renowned ancient sages. He is world renowned. His material, he's a philosopher, and he writes about the nature of life. And his books are second in printing, worldwide printing, only to the Bible. And yet what he shares is not religious at all. He shares the nature of creation. And that's what is being reflected here. So you have a base point to reflect upon. All right, let's go back in. One, the Wu world, previous sentence, Wu world cannot be seen, cannot be heard or touched. It has no yin or yang, no space or time. It has no image and no shape. So think about that. The original form of creation is emptiness. It has no time or shape, can't be seen, can't be heard, can't touch it. You really cannot describe it. One, the oneness world, is called Hun Yuan Yi Qi. Again, Mandarin Chinese, which means energy, which means oneness energy. There are 2 kinds of energy within this oneness energy. They are mixed, not separable. Hun Yuan Yi Qi is a blurred oneness energy, this original source creator. This 2 kinds of energy are named Qing Qi and Zhuo Qi. Qing Qi is clean, pure, light Qi. Zhuo Qi is disturbed, turbid, heavy Qi. They remain in the Hun Yuan Yi Qi conditions for eons. The next sentence in the creation cycle is Yi Sheng Er, which translates to 1 creates 2. Now, he's going to show an image shortly here to put this all together, but bear with me as I read through this. When the time comes for Qi transformation, Tao separates. What is Tao? Tao is source. So if you hear the word Tao, plug in the word source. Source separates the 2 Qi in Hunyuan Yi Qi, the oneness world or this blurred emptiness world. And then you get 2 Qi, which is the clean Qi, light, pure, clean Qi. And it rises to form heaven. Zhou Qi, which is the heavy, disturbed Qi, is a turbid Qi, and it falls to form earth. Heaven and earth are 2, which are the yin-yang world. Now take a look at this image that is shown here. And you can see Tao, which again is a word that represents source, that which cannot be described or explained. It has no boundaries, it has no time, it has no space. You can't touch it, see it, feel it. And in that Tao space of oneness is this combined Qi, which is the Hunyuan Yi Qi. It's a combination of clean and disturbed Qi, but it's combined, inseparable. And after eons, however much time is eons, the clean Qi rises, the dirty Qi falls, in essence forming heaven and earth, which are two. So from one becomes two. That's what has been explained so far. Now we go into the third sacred phrase, Ar Sheng San. Two creates three. From the Hunyuan Yi Qi, the oneness world, so that is the original oneness, the original source, that's one, plus heaven and earth, which are two. Heaven and earth are the yin-yang world, creates three. Three is oneness plus heaven and earth. Then you have the verbiage, San Sheng Wan Wu. Three creates all things. Let's pause for a moment. Three creates all things. Source is the oneness. In the source is the blurred condition forever. Eventually, that blurred condition, which holds clean and dirty qi, energy, heaven rises, earth falls, and from heaven and Mother Earth, the yin and yang, and the original source creator, all things are formed. Okay? This is what's called the creation cycle. All right, let's pop back in. Wan means 10,000, which represents infinite, countless, or all. Wu means things. So Wan Wu, San, three makes all things. San creates Wan Wu. That means that these three, the source, heaven and earth, create all things. Three, which is the oneness world, plus heaven and earth, create the countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes. So all things is not limited to earth and its inhabitants. It's everything. Tao reverse creation. This is the second part of the circle. Master Sha goes on to say, I received the teaching of Tao reverse creation from the source. Tao source asked me to explain Tao reverse creation to humanity and all souls. And he says, see figure 3, which I'll show you in a moment. As with Tao normal creation, Tao reverse creation is also described in 4 sacred sentences. Wan Wu Gui San. All things return to 3. Gui means return or to go back. San Gui R, 3 returns to 2. R Gui E, 2 returns to 1. E Gui Dao, 1 returns to Dao. Okay? So when you look at this image, you see the other half of the circle. So remember, all things were created were at the bottom of the circle. Wan Wu, meaning 10,000, which is representation of all things, including planets, stars, galaxies, and universes, not just Earth and human, everything. And then everything goes in a reverse creation cycle. So we have 3 returns to 2, 2 returns to 1, 1 returns to Tao. So let me read this now. Together, Tao normal creation and Tao reverse creation are a universal law of universal reincarnation that explains how 2 creates 1, 2, 3, and Wan Wu, all things, including planets, stars, galaxies, and universes, and how Wan Wu returns to 3, 2, 1, and then Tao, constantly and endlessly. Tao normal creation and Tao reverse creation are profound. They include and represent, they are the highest wisdom, the highest philosophy, the highest science, the highest practice, the highest healing and transformation. They contain what has just been shared with you, the highest realization, the highest enlightenment, and the ultimate truth. Tao normal creation and Tao reverse creation are sacred wisdom and ultimate truth that lasts for eons. Lao Tzu was able to express Tao normal creation to humanity in the Tao Te Ching. That was the first half of the circle. It could take one decades or even lifetimes to understand the profoundness and sacredness of the Tao normal creation and the Tao reverse creation. In one sentence, Tao normal creation and Tao reverse creation are ultimate creation and reincarnation circle for everyone and everything in countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes. Well, that was a lot to say. So I want to pause again for a moment. So for those of you that may be familiar with Master Sha and you're able to watch him live, doing some of his current teachings, is actually teaching this wisdom live right now on his Facebook channel. So if you are not familiar with that, I recommend you go there. And if you're watching this, 6 months, 1 year down the road, you may be lucky enough that those videos are still left up. You have to go to his channel, click on videos, and then scroll back to however long it's been. Today's date as I'm reading this is September 15th, 2022. And Dr. Master Sha is into about chapter 17 of 81 chapters. Now, my guess is he won't read all 81 because that would probably take too long. And I don't know that he will be that generous with his wisdom. He is a Tao Grand Master. He is a lineage holder, the 372nd lineage holder of Pengzu. Pengzu taught Lao Tzu. So he's actually in the lineage and has the wisdom to teach this with a very high authority. So to be able to hear that wisdom directly would be a very wise thing to do, assuming it's still available when you hear this. And if it is, I encourage you to go there each and every week. Currently, it's been done on Mondays, noon Eastern time. So I hope you are able to join. What has just been explained is something that Master Sha does currently reiterate in all of his live events. And he's probably shown it at least 200 or 300 times. And every time he repeats what I just explained to you in this book, he shares the same thing. And he says, the reason I repeat this is because it is the highest wisdom, the highest philosophy, the highest healing, the highest enlightenment, everything that was just shared with you. So he never repeats anything accidentally. He has far too much to do to repeat things unless it's important. So I encourage you to really work with this understanding and recognize that it is how we as humans, we as individuals, will have the opportunity to elevate our frequency and vibration and return to the source. Okay? All right, let's pop back in. We go on to say that the ultimate creator and source, Master Sha says, I would like to explain chapter 1 of the Tao Te Ching. So he's referring now to the original book written thousands of years ago, the one that, well, there's 81 chapters, the book in which that's the most printed book in the world, with the exception of the Bible. He's talking about that book now. I would like to explain chapter 1 of this book. Succinctly summarized the secret wisdom and profound power of the entire Tao Te Ching. Dao Ke Dao, Fei Chang Dao. It translates to the Tao that can be expressed in words or comprehended by thought is not the permanent or true Tao. So what did I teach you? Plug in word instead of Tao. Plug in the word source instead of Tao if you have trouble with this. Let's plug in the word source for comprehension purposes. The source that can be expressed in words or comprehended by thoughts is not the permanent and true source. So don't get stuck on the word Tao. Understand what's trying to be explained is that which is almost impossible to explain. And they're just doing the best they can. Tao is Tao, the ultimate source. Dao Ke Dao means can be explained or can be comprehended. Fei means not and Chang means permanent. Next line, Ming Ke Ming, Fei Chang Ming. Anyone and anything that can be named is not permanent. Next line. Anyone who has been given a name is not permanent because the human path is Sheng Lao Bing Zi. The human path is birth, old age, sickness, and death. The arc of life for everyone and everything is Cheng Zi Huai Kong, which translates to grow and develop, remain stable, be damaged and diminished. So everything, a planet, a star, everything grows, develops, remains stable, becomes damaged and diminished, right? Stars even go away. So this is the nature of everything. Therefore, it is not permanent and disappears. This is the path of everyone and everything in the yin yang world. What is the yin yang world? That is the world below original creator. That is heaven and Mother Earth, all stars, planets, galaxies, and universes. That is the yin yang world. Next line. Wu Ming Tian Di Ji Shi Zhi Shi. Excuse me. The condition with no name is the beginning of heaven and Mother Earth. This is the third line of the Tao Te Ching from the original book. The condition with no name is Tao. Tao creates one, which is the emptiness world, the Wu world. Tao is emptiness. Tao also creates the Yo world, or the existence world, beginning with heaven and earth, too. As I explained, so remember, the Yo world, or the existence world, is heaven and Mother Earth, also referred to earlier as the yin-yang world. Everything in existence was created by the oneness. The oneness holds everything within existence. So he says, as I explained earlier in the chapter, Mother Earth is one planet. There are countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes. Tao Source creates all of them, as well as heaven, Mother Earth, and human beings. And welcome to everybody who's joined on live stream. I only see 2 names in the chat. Please tell me who you are, where you're visiting from. So grateful for your presence. And thank you for hitting the share button. Next line, the 4th line of the Tao Te Ching. Yo Ming Wan Wu Zhi Mu translates to the one with names are the mother of Wan Wu. Wan Wu translates to countless things. Tian and Di have names, heaven and earth. Tian Di, heaven and earth, are Mu Chen, mother. Heaven and earth are mother. And everyone and everything, as Lao Tzu explained, in the Tao normal creation, heaven and earth are 2. 2 creates what? 3. So the oneness field plus heaven and earth create 3. From the oneness field and heaven and earth, all things are created. Next line. Gu Chang Wu, Yu Yi, Guan, Qi, Miao. Therefore, be permanently in the Wu condition, which is Kong, or another word for Wu and Kong is emptiness. In this condition, one can observe the profound Tao without intention, without restriction, and without limitation. So Wu means emptiness, Yi is oneness. Yi Yu Chen Qi Miao means to be able to observe the profoundness of the Tao, to be able to observe the profoundness of the source. When one reaches Qing, which is pure, quiet, and peaceful, when they reach this condition in the heart, then one can go into stillness, Ding, which means no me, no thought. In this Ding, stillness condition, of forgetting oneself, one could observe the profoundness and the sacredness of Tao. This is the very advanced spiritual condition that is not easy to achieve. Next line. Cheng you yu yi chan qi jiao. Be permanently in the Yo condition to observe the vastness of the Yo world. In this condition, one can observe the Yo world with intention, restrictions, and limitations. So it's curious because he's saying, when you are in this physical world, you and I, in this physical world, and we want to observe Creator, the oneness world, the Wu world, the only way to actually get there is in complete emptiness. And then you have this astounding feeling and a knowingness. But we can sort of observe it in our present world with intention, with restriction, and with limitation. That's what he's saying here. Chang means permanent. Yo means existence. Yu means desire or to be able to. And Guan means to observe. Qi means yo world, and Jiao means boundary. To see Mother Earth and countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes in this existence world, the yo world, a human's physical eyes, consciousness, and knowledge are not enough. Using the most advanced telescope, it still takes billions of years for the light from the farthest stars just to reach our physical eye. As vast as it is, this yo world, this physical world, is limited. It has all kinds of restrictions and all kinds of limitations. Next line. Qi liang zhi tong shu er yi yi ming tong wei zhi chuan. These two, Wu and Yo worlds, both come from the same source, which is the Tao, but have different names. Both are profound. And this entire sentence means both are profound, mysterious, sacred, and unimaginable. Next line. Chuan Ju, Chuan Zhi, Yo Xuan, Zhong, Miao, Zhi Men. The Wu and Yo worlds are both profound beyond profound, mysterious beyond mysterious, sacred beyond sacred, and unimaginable beyond unimaginable. The gate to all sacred teachings and realms. I gotta pause a minute here because that, to me, is really astounding. You have to think about this. Many thousands of years ago, an individual who meditated a lot, really connected to the highest levels that they could in their meditations, got into a very, very, very deep state of emptiness and observed the source creation. Played in this source creation of observance. And then said, I'm going to do my best in these 81 chapters to apply what has been learned, to try to describe what is indescribable. Listen to this last sentence again. He talks about the Wu world and the Yo world. What is the Wu world? Wu means emptiness. Emptiness world, Yo world. Yo world is the creation world. Okay? The Wu world and the Yo world are both profound, beyond profound, mysterious beyond mysterious, and sacred beyond sacred, unimaginable beyond unimaginable, the gate to all sacred teachings and realms. Wow. Lao Tzu tried to explain Tao, or the source, in many chapters of the Tao Te Ching. This first chapter, 1, is the key to the profound wisdom and power of the Tao. Allow me to summarize the concepts of the Tao. First bullet. Tao cannot be explained by words or comprehended by thoughts. Tao cannot be seen, heard, or touched. Tao creates Wu world and Yo world, which are profound gates of wisdom, philosophy, science, culture, practice, and power for everyone and everything in countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes. Tao has no yin, has no yang, it has no time, it has no space. Tao has no image, no shape, has no sound. Follow Tao, follow source, flourish, go against, and finish. Tao carries the 10 greatest natures, which are Da I, the greatest love, Da Quan Shu, greatest forgiveness, Da Cibei, greatest compassion, Da Guangming, greatest light. Da Chen Wei, greatest humility. Da He Xie, greatest harmony. Da Chang Sheng, greatest flourishing. Da Ganan, greatest gratitude. Da Hu Wu, greatest service. And Da Yuan Man, greatest enlightenment. Tao expresses its 10 greatest natures and powers as a Tao source field. Tao carries source most positive information, energy, and matter, Shen Qi Jing, which we discussed in the earlier chapters, which can transform negative information, energy, and matter. Tao is the ultimate creator, which is the highest soul. Therefore, Tao carries the highest soul power. Another way to say that is Tao over matter. Tao over matter is the highest soul over matter. Soul over matter means that souls can make things happen to heal, transform, and enlighten all life. Tao over matter means Tao carries the highest power to heal and transform and enlighten all life. In one sentence, Tao is the way of all life. Wow. Welcome, Anthea. Welcome, Ristoristo. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. And that brings us to the end of that chapter. Very, very powerful, huh? Very powerful. Amazing, amazing. So now what we're going to do is we are going to receive some healing. Who wants to receive some healing? Yeah. So we have available to us, let me just set up the image correctly. We have available to us a special calligraphy that is on Master Sha's book. And this special calligraphy, when Master Sha wrote it, he infused the Tao most pure positive frequency vibration within. This calligraphy is written from the right side top down and then over to the left side top down. And the words are Tao heals and transforms depression and anxiety. That's what these words translate to. So by connecting with this source calligraphy, we can and will receive healing. Now, there is the ancient wisdom associated with the fire element, which explains that the heart is where the imbalanced emotion of depression and anxiety reside. And actually, more accurately, the heart center, the message center, the heart chakra, however you want to verbalize it. And so one of the nice things about working with this is we might have, we might not have depression or anxiety, and we should be very grateful for that. And however, we all have heart chakras, and we tend to hold within our heart things that are unpleasant or traumatic or unexpected, loss of people we care about, or maybe love or romance gone bad, any kind of a trauma, etc. And those get stuck in the same heart center, okay? So when we work with the source calligraphy, it can absolutely transform that. Now, as a reminder from the earlier teachings in the earlier chapters, how do we receive the healing from this source calligraphy? There are many ways, but the ways we're going to use today is by touching all 5 fingers together and following the lines of the calligraphy from the top right down up to the top left down, basically doing what's called tracing the lines. And why does it work? In essence, when this was created, Master Sha, being a grand master of 6 ancient disciplines and a grand master of harnessing source most pure positive frequency and light, when he puts the pen onto paper, he asks source to channel through him the most pure positive healing light, and it then goes on to art. When we connect and ask it to serve us, then the portal opens, if you will, the positive frequency and vibration that's been waiting there to be interacted with, then opens up and comes to us and goes to our area of request. So you can choose something different than your heart center and depression and anxiety, and it will serve you as well. So let us now work with this and let us connect. You can repeat after me silently. And dear, the original source calligraphy connected to this image on the back of Master Sha's book for healing and transforming depression and anxiety. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to heal and rejuvenate with you. As I trace you, could you please bless my request and also bless me to open my heart, release any depression and anxiety I may be holding on to? I'm so, so very grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I will also chant to add additional frequency and vibration so that we are not just sitting here in an empty space of silence, okay? So we have activated this, and now I encourage you to count 5 fingers together and start to trace the source calligraphy. And I will chant the mantra, Tao source calligraphy heals our depression. Tao source calligraphy heals our anxiety. Tao source calligraphy heals our depression. Tao source calligraphy heals our anxiety. Now, I know that some of you might not be able to see these lines well. You might not be able to make out where it stops and starts and continues, and that's okay. No attachment. The frequency is not in the accuracy. The healing is not in the accuracy of how you trace. The healing is in the connection. Just by doing the connection we did and tracing, even representative, you are receiving huge light, huge frequency and vibration that is coming through this portal from the source, through this beautiful piece of art into you. Let us continue. Tao source calligraphy heals our depression. Tao source calligraphy heals our anxiety. Tao source calligraphy heals our depression. Tao source calligraphy heals our anxiety. Tao source calligraphy heals our depression. Tao source calligraphy heals our anxiety. Tao source calligraphy heals our depression. Tao source calligraphy heals our anxiety. Tao source calligraphy heals our depression. Tao source calligraphy heals our anxiety. Tao source calligraphy heals our depression. Tao source calligraphy heals our anxiety. Continuing to trace, I can feel the frequency coming from this. Literally, I am awake, I am tracing, I am moving my arm, and I am having difficulty keeping my eyes open. I'm fine. Prior to this, I'm reading the book, I'm wide awake, I got lots of sleep last night. No reason for my eyes to be trying to shut on me. Why? Because the frequency and the vibration from the source is coming through this beautiful piece of art. It's coming to each of us and it's very, very high. I'm really surprised how powerful this is. And Master Sha says, if you want to know if a pear is sweet, taste it. If you want to know if Tao calligraphy really works, then experience it. And you may or may not have experience, measurable experience, with this one tracing of roughly 10 to 12 minutes. And so this is why he recommends that if, an example, you come across this and you're wondering, does this really work? I have depression. What can I do about it? Then I do recommend you acquire this book and read it, of course, and also go to the website associated with this book. There is a very powerful website with a very beautiful animations. And he places this source calligraphy and chants the animation so that all you have to do to heal and transform your depression and anxiety is put the book on your heart center and then sit down and turn on the video, click the loop button, and you can sit there for 10, 15, 30 minutes while the frequency and vibration radiating from the book, radiating from the calligraphy, and radiating from the mantra and the animated field comes to you. What is it doing? It is bringing the most pure, positive, healing frequency and vibration, and it is slowly but surely washing away the negativity that is the root of the depression you are experiencing. I know from 13 years of doing this that it works. How much time will it take is dependent upon how heavy is the negativity causing the experiences that you're having. The heavier the negativity, then the more you want to do of keeping yourself in front of the calligraphy and the field. It's truly that simple. You cannot know if the pear is sweet if you don't give it reasonable time. If you've had depression or anxiety for 2, 3, 4, or 10 years, then should you really judge this book, so to speak, by its cover? Give it 2 or 3 times and say, oh, it didn't work? How fair is that, right? It's completely not fair. Do you know what the mistakes were made that brought about the negative information that ended up on your vibrational field? Because earlier in the book, it was explained quite clearly that negative information does not accidentally end up on our vibration. Somewhere along the line, by our own thoughts, words, or actions, or the mistakes of our mother or father or grandparents or their great-grandparents, somewhere along the line, the conditions of depression or anxiety had been brought into other people's environment, and other people experienced this unpleasantness equal to what you are experiencing. So that negativity is on your field. Just like if you have excellent relationships or excellent money conditions, then you earn that. Congratulations. Somewhere along the line, you did good things to help others, and or your parents did or grandparents did. So when these vibrations end up on our field, we don't know what brought them there. We don't know how big or heavy they are or how small they are. Therefore, we don't know how long to do the practice. One thing is for sure. After 3 years of research, Dr. Peter Hudova, he found a 100% of those 3 years, 100% of the people with 60 different, entirely unique conditions, nothing like the others, all 60 had a remarkable improvement by tracing calligraphy. So that's all they can say in doctor language. Can you say cure? Not unless you gave them a drug. But I can tell you that many of them, if you spoke to them, they would use that word. And that's the nature of using positive healing source, frequency, and vibration to reduce or dissolve the negativity that is the originating root cause of whatever your ailment is. The wisdom remains the same, regardless if it's back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, or in this case, depression and anxiety. So now come to the end of this source calligraphy with your tracing. And part of a spiritual courtesy is when we get to the end, from our heart, we say, thank you. I'm very grateful to the source for transferring the frequency and vibration through Master Sha into this art that I might have the opportunity to heal and transform today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good. So I hoped that some of that explanation also helped you. Do know that it's not a question of if this works, it's only a question of when. And that simply requires effort. You have to do your part. There's an ancient saying, heaven does 50%, you do 50%. Yes, miracles occur. They occur all the time. And we see them in our organization quite often. But if we saw something, it would probably be because the person's negative information was not that much. Therefore, it didn't take that much to clear it. And somebody might say, wow, my pain's gone. It's a miracle. Some people might have long-standing pain, fibromyalgia. That's a lot of stuff. You need to do it for a couple hours a day for maybe 2-3 months. But if at the end of 2 or 3 months, after a couple hours, it's completely gone, would that be a miracle? I think the answer is yes. Do your part, okay? I encourage you to reach out to Dr. and Master Sha through all of his social media. You can find him at Zhigong Sha. His website is drsha.com. Go to find his books. Locally here, I'm at Dow Center, Portland. His organization and myself, we're all here to serve you, to help you to become happier and healthier. And we have the tools to assist you. So find us, locate us, allow us to serve you. Thank you to all who have come today. I will be back, hopefully, Tuesday next week. I missed this last day because we had a pre-existing condition that popped up. I believe I'll be available this coming Tuesday and Thursday as predetermined, same time. So we'll go into the next portion of this chapter and continue to read this book. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye-bye.